The arena gates slide open with a hiss, and Kale Reyes steps onto the smooth, glowing floor. His boots make soft echoes as he moves forward. All around him, seats rise like tiers of stars, filled with thousands of alien faces that watch in curious silence. He feels a flicker of nerves, but he breathes deeply and reminds himself why he came. Beyond the ring's center stands the reigning champion, a towering figure from Xantar known as Vorgol. 4 strong arms hold a sleek blade resting at its side. Vorgol's many eyes shimmer in the bright lights. Moments ago, the alien had claimed another easy victory, and the crowd had roared its approval. Now, the same crowd waits to see if a human can match such power. Kale's heart pounds as he glances at the champion. Vorgol's armor gleams like polished obsidian, and even in repose, the alien seems ready to move. Kale feels the weight of Earth's hopes on his shoulders. He straightens his spine and allows himself a quick memory of home. Dusty training grounds under an orange sunrise, and the promise he made to show humanity's true potential. A single bell rings. It sounds more like a clear note of hope then, a signal of combat. The lights dim slightly, focusing on the 2 figures in the ring. Kale stands with his hands open at his sides, not daring to clench his fists too tight. He does not hate the champion. He respects the alien's skill. This is a test of spirit as much as strength. Vorgol moves first. It steps forward with deliberate calm, raising 2 blades in graceful arcs. The ground beneath Kale's feet hums. With energy, Kale watches the champion's motion, searching for rhythm. On Earth, he learned to predict his opponent's moves through awareness, not fear. He remembers that now. The champion lunges. Its blades slice through the air in a swift, controlled strike. Kale tenses, then shifts his weight to one side. He steps back just enough to let the blades pass. The air buzzes where they cut. In this moment, the crowd gasps as one low sound. Kale's eyes narrow with focus. He takes the next step forward, testing the distance. Vorgol raises a 3rd arm, preparing for another strike. Kale sidesteps and extends his right hand, touching the champion's elbow guard with the flat of his palm. Arm bends, and Vorgol staggers for a heartbeat. A hush falls over the arena. No human has ever landed a touch that broke the champion's guard. Kale feels a spark of pride, does not celebrate. He remains alert. He studies Vorgol's balance, learning how the alien shifts its weight. On Earth, he practiced this same approach against larger opponents. He learned that speed and observation can equal strength. Now, he applies everything he has learned. Vorgol recovers quickly. Its blades spin in a wide circle, and Kale backflips to clear the strike. His boots land lightly on the glowing floor. He keeps his gaze steady on the champion. He does not see an enemy. He sees a fellow athlete in a contest of skill and will. A second bell chimes. The round ends. Kale stands at the center of the ring, chest rising and falling with controlled breaths. He feels alert and alive. He catches his breath and turns his head toward the crowd. Alien faces lean forward, curious and respectful. Kale bows his head in a silent salute. As he straightens, Kale remembers his promise to Earth, to show that humanity's courage and unity can stand among the stars. He wipes a bead of sweat from his brow and grips his own lightweight staff. His eyes burn with quiet determination. The next round will begin soon, and he's ready to step forward once more. Kale Reyes stood in his corner as the 3rd round began. The lights in the arena softened for a moment, as though all focus shifted to the 2 figures at the center. Kale felt a calm settle over him. He gripped his staff with both hands and reminded himself of the promise he made to show what hope and unity could do. Across the ring, Vorgol shifted its blades into a defensive stance. The crowd murmured with anticipation. Kale stepped forward, moving along the energy lines beneath his boots. He watched the champion's stance closely, noting how its weight rested on its back leg. Then he adjusted his own position, finding a balance that felt strong yet light. He raised his staff in front of him, not as a weapon, but as an extension of his own spirit. Kale's feet carried him nearly effortlessly over the glowing floor. Vorgol advanced with a graceful lunge, testing Kale's guard. The alien's blades cut through the air in a swift sweep. Kale pivoted on one heel, guiding the blade past him with a gentle tap of his staff. He felt the vibration of power but did not resist with force. Instead, he guided the movement, redirecting it away from his body. The audience watched in awed silence as a human shaped the champion's own strength. Kale pressed forward into the champion's space, planting one foot on a raised platform segment of the floor. This gave him a slight height advantage. He tapped Vorgel's knee guard with the staff's end. Vorgel froze, surprised by the contact so high off the ground. Kale took a steady breath and spoke aloud, though the arena was quiet. "I stand not to conquer, but to connect." The words echoed in Kale's mind more than in the arena. In that moment, he felt the presence of every person on Earth who had supported him, from his family to the voices that had cheered him on through broadcasts. Their hope filled him with gentle warmth. He lowered his staff and held it horizontally at chest level. Vorgel studied him with curious eyes, as if weighing Kale's true intent. The champion shifted its blades to rest on its shoulders. Kale dropped into a low stance, staff pointed between them. He recalled his training. Patience can be stronger than speed. I think understanding can be stronger than force. He rose slowly, eyes never leaving Vorgel's. Then he tapped the champion's shoulder plate with the flat of his palm. Oh? No hurt was intended, only connection. Vorgel's posture relaxed, and a soft hum rose from the crowd. Kale stepped back, giving space. Vorgel mirrored him, lowering one blade in acknowledgement. The two stood still for a heartbeat, the silent exchange stronger than any strike. Kale closed his eyes briefly, centering himself. He opened them and let a small smile form. He did not see a monster or a rival. He saw another being who, like him, strove for excellence. Then the bell chimed to end the third round. Kale allowed himself a small bow toward Vorgel, who returned the gesture with a slow inclination of its head. The crowd burst into applause, not for a decisive blow, but for a moment of shared respect. Kale walked back to his corner, shoulders relaxed, staff resting lightly at his side. He felt stronger than before, not because of muscle or speed, but because he had shown that even in a contest of champions, a human heart could bridge worlds. Kale Reyes stood in his corner as the third round began. The lights in the arena softened for a moment, as though all focus shifted to the two figures at the center. Kale felt a calm settle over him. He gripped his staff with both hands and reminded himself of the promise he made to show what hope and unity could do. Across the ring, Vorgel shifted its blades into a defensive stance. The crowd murmured with anticipation. Kale stepped forward, moving along the energy lines beneath his boots. He watched the champion's stance closely, noting how its weight rested on its back leg. Then he adjusted his own position, finding a balance that felt strong yet light. He raised his staff in front of him, not as a weapon, but as an extension of his own spirit. Kale's feet carried him nearly effortlessly over the glowing floor. Vorgel advanced with a graceful lunge, testing Kale's guard. The alien's blades cut through the air in a swift sweep. Kale pivoted on one heel, guiding the blade past him with a gentle tap of his staff. He felt the vibration of power but did not resist with force. Instead, he guided the movement, redirecting it away from his body. The audience watched in awed silence as a human shaped the champion's own strength. Kale pressed forward into the champion's space, planting one foot on a raised platform segment of the floor. This gave him a slight height advantage. He tapped Vorgel's knee guard with the staff's end. Vorgel froze, surprised by the contact so high off the ground. Kale took a steady breath and spoke aloud, though the arena was quiet. "I stand not to conquer, but to connect." The words echoed in Kale's mind more than in the arena. In that moment, he felt the presence of every person on Earth who had supported him, from his family to the voices that had cheered him on through broadcasts. Their hope filled him with gentle warmth. He lowered his staff and held it horizontally at chest level. Vorgel studied him with curious eyes, as if weighing Kale's true intent. The champion shifted its blades to rest on its shoulders. Kale dropped into a low stance, staff pointed between them. He recalled his training. Patience can be stronger than speed. Understanding can be stronger than force. He rose slowly, eyes never leaving Vorgel's. Then he tapped the champion's shoulder plate with the flat of his palm. No hurt was intended, only connection. Vorgel's posture relaxed, and a soft hum rose from the crowd. Kale stepped back, giving space. Vorgel mirrored him, lowering one blade in acknowledgement. The two stood still for a heartbeat, the silent exchange stronger than any strike. Kale closed his eyes briefly, centering himself. He opened them and let a small smile form. He did not see a monster or a rival. He saw another being who, like him, strove for excellence. Then the bell chimed to end the third round. Kale allowed himself a small bow toward Vorgel, who returned the gesture with a slow inclination of its head. The crowd burst into applause, not for a decisive blow, but for a moment of shared respect. Kale walked back to his corner, shoulders relaxed, staff resting lightly at his side. He felt stronger than before, not because of muscle or speed, but because he had shown that even in a contest of champions, a human heart could bridge worlds. The bell rings for the fourth round, and the arena's glow brightens once more. Kale Reyes steps forward from his corner, feeling the weight of every eye upon him. He adjusts his grip on his staff, recalling the lessons that led him here: respect, focus, and the human will to connect. Across the ring, Vorgel shifts its blades into a ready position. The champion's many eyes track Kale's movements like points of light in a dark sky. Kale advances, his boots sliding along the energy lines. Embedded in the floor, he notices how the lines cross near a raised platform at the ring's edge. An idea forms. He can use that low rise to change his angle. He moves diagonally, circling the champion's flank. Vorgel follows, its blades tracing arcs through the air as it keeps pace. Suddenly, Vorgel lunges with surprising speed, sending two blades sweeping low. Kale drops into a crouch and guides the blades past with a gentle sweep of his staff. He lets the momentum carry him under the strike, then he springs up onto the raised platform. Now he is slightly above the champion's reach. The crowd reacts. With a soft collective gasp, no human has ever used the ring itself so cleverly. From this new height, Kale studies Vorgel's guard. One of the alien's blades hangs lower than the others. Kale grips his staff firmly and shifts his stance. He brings the staff's end down in a precise tap against the lower blade's guard. The metal clicks, and Vorgel's arm dips in surprise. Kale's heart swells at the crowd's hushed excitement. He hops down from the platform and lands lightly on both feet. He does not press any attack. Instead, he holds his staff in front of him, staff horizontal at chest level. Vorgel steps back a pace, as if reconsidering its own approach. Kale's chest rises and falls evenly. He speaks softly, though the sound is lost in the vast arena. We learn together. He watches as Vorgel's blades lower slightly. The champion studies Kale with quiet interest, the many-eyed gaze gentle rather than fierce. Kale knows this contest is more than a test of strength. It is a chance to build trust. He recalls the faces of Earth's people children who dreamed, families who hoped, scientists who believed in unity. Vorgel advances again, but with caution. It tests Kale's guard with a slow drill of blade tips. Kale meets each with calm precision, shifting his staff to intercept. He taps the champion's wrist guard instead of blocking harshly. Vorgel's arm wobbles for a moment, and Kale senses the alien's growing respect. Then Kale shifts tactics. He holds his staff vertically, end on the floor, and steps to Vorgel's side. He places a flat palm on the champion's shoulder plate. No force is used, only a light connection. Vorgel pauses, and in that instant the arena grows silent. Every spectator leans forward. Kale closes his eyes briefly and imagines Earth's horizons. Wide oceans, snow-capped mountains, forests so green they glow under morning light. He feels the unity of his home planet, the shared heartbeat of billions. He opens his eyes and smiles, a small, genuine curve of lips. He looks at Vorgel and offers the same greeting one human might give another, a simple nod of friendship. The champion's blades lower fully. Vorgel inclines its head slightly, a gesture of acceptance. Around them, the crowd erupts into applause that rings like thunder through the arena. Alien voices shout in wonder, celebrating not a defeat but a bond. Kale breathes in the sound, letting it fill his spirit. The bell chimes to end the fourth round. Kale stands at the ring's center, staff resting on his shoulder. Vorgel stands nearby, its blades sheathed at its sides. They face each other not as rival fighters, but as two competitors who share respect and understanding. Kale bows deeply, and Vorgel mirrors the gesture. In that shared motion, humanity's heart echoes across the stars, a message of hope, unity, and the power of gentle strength. The bell rings for the fifth round, and the arena's glow settles into a steady rhythm. Kale Reyes stands in the center, staff held lightly at his side. Vorgel watches him with calm curiosity, blades resting quietly on its shoulders. Kale feels a gentle excitement warm his chest. He breathes deeply and steps forward, ready to show another part of humanity's spirit. Kale moves with quiet purpose, sliding along the energy lines in the floor. He remembers how he learned to trust his instincts, feeling the ground, listening to his breath, and opening his mind to every detail. Vorgel shifts its weight in response, blades ready but relaxed. Kale nods in greeting, and the champion returns the gesture, a silent promise that this contest is now more than a fight. He circles to the right, keeping his eyes on Vorgel's feet. He notices how the champion's toes grip the floor before. Each step, he positions himself so that he is just outside the reach of the blades. Then, in one smooth move, he spins his staff under his arm and uses its tip to trace a line across Vorgel's knee guard. The touch is gentle but firm. Vorgel's knee bends slightly and the many eyes widen in surprise. Kale holds the moment, allowing the connection to deepen. He lowers his staff and places a flat palm against the metal of the guard. He does not push or pull. He simply shares a human gesture of trust. Vorgel pauses its breathing pattern, if it can be called that, tanned. Its blades lower further. The crowd leans forward, sensing something special taking shape. Kale steps back and allows Vorgel space. Then he raises his staff above his head, holding it by the center. He spins it slowly, demonstrating that he has nothing to hide. Vorgel tilts its head as if considering what Kale shows. In that moment, Kale speaks softly. In unity, we are stronger. His words carry through his posture more than through sound. The champion advances slowly now, testing Kale's calm. It swipes. One blade in a gentle arc, more question than challenge. Kale closes his eyes for a heartbeat and feels the wind of the blade on his cheek. He lets the wind guide him and steps aside, spinning his staff to intercept the blade's momentum. He taps the champion's wrist guard with the end of his staff. Vorgel's arm shakes lightly. Kale opens his eyes and smiles. He remembers the faces of Earth's people, friends, neighbors, strangers who believe in kindness. Okay. He recalls the children who dream of exploring the stars. He feels their warmth in his heart and lets it shine in his stance. Vorgel watches him and lowers its blades completely. Silence ripples through the arena as Kale and Vorgel stand nearly motionless. The lights dim for an instant, focusing on their joined moment. Kale steps forward and places both palms on his staff, its end touching the floor. He bows his head respectfully to Vorgel. The champion bows its head in return. Then the crowd erupts into applause and cheers unlike any before. Aliens from every corner of the arena rise to their feet, voices blending into a joyous roar. Kale feels tears of happiness in his eyes. Did not seek victory through force. Instead, he sought understanding, respect, and connection. The bell chimes to end the fifth round. Kale walks slowly back to his corner, his staff resting on his shoulder. Vorgel stands at the center of the end, ring blades sheathed and at ease. Kale glances toward the champion and offers a final nod of friendship before turning away. Knows the next rounds will bring new challenges, but he also knows that every step they take together builds a bridge between worlds. In his heart, he carries the hope that one human act of kindness can echo across the galaxy. The bell rings, and a gentle wave of light pulses across the arena floor to signal the sixth round. Kale Reyes stands tall, staff in hand, his breath steady. He glances at Vorgel, who holds its blades lowered, eyes bright with quiet focus. Kale feels the weight of countless hopes behind him, friends on Earth. Children who dream of peace and the voice of humanity itself. He lifts his staff and steps forward, determined to share one more lesson of unity. Kale moves along the energy lines, feet sliding over the glowing grids. He notices that Vorgel's stance has softened since the last round. The champion's shoulders are less tense, its blades resting more naturally. Instead of attacking, Kale holds his staff vertically before him as though offering it as a bridge. Vorgel tilts its head, curiosity shining in its many eyes. Kale nods gently, inviting the champion to join him in a new kind of dance. Kale taps the floor with his staff's tip, and a faint circle of light spreads outward. He steps into the circle and spins his staff, creating a soft hum of energy. Light flickers in patterns that resemble waves on a calm ocean. Vorgel steps closer, its boots touching the glowing floor lines. Kale speaks without words. He sweeps his staff slowly, tracing shapes of connection, of two paths that meet and flow as one. Vorgel matches his movement, shifting its blades like graceful arms in a shared rhythm. The arena falls silent, as if the crowd itself holds its breath to watch this moment of silent cooperation. Kale feels a calm warmth in his chest, stronger than any thrill of victory. He lowers the staff and places one hand over its center, then extends the other toward Vorgel's nearest blade guard. Vorgel lowers its arm to meet him. Their hands, one human, one alien, hover above the metal, close enough to touch. In that space, Kale senses the truth he came to share. Strength is richer when shared. Slowly, Kale rests his palm on the cool guard. Vorgel holds still, and the energy between them hums softly. Kale thinks of Earth's blue skies and green forests, of laughter that crossed oceans and hearts that beat together in hope. He allows that feeling to flow through his touch. Vorgel's many-eyed gaze meets his, and Kale sees something gentle. Their respect, trust, and a desire to understand. The light circle fades, and Kale steps back, staff held lightly at his side. Vorgel withdraws its blades fully and bows its head in a clear gesture of friendship. Then, without warning, the arena erupts in joyous applause. Aliens rise from their seats, voices blending into a sound that feels more like celebration than victory. Kale smiles, chest swelling with pride. He raises his staff above his head in a silent salute to the crowd, to Vorgel, and to every soul who believed in unity. As the bell chimes to end the 6th round, Kale walks calmly toward his cornerstaff. Tapping softly on the floor, Vorgel remains at the center, blades sheathed and at ease. Kale glances back once, seeing the champion standing proud yet peaceful. He knows the final round will bring new wonders, but he also knows that whatever happens, this moment of shared strength will echo long after the contest ends. The final bell rings and the arena's glow brightens for the 7th and last round. Kale Reyes stands at the center, staff held firmly in both hands. His chest rises and falls with steady breaths. Across the ring, Vorgel stands tall but relaxed, blades sheathed at its sides. Kale feels a calm joy in his heart. He knows this moment is more than a contest, is a promise of hope for every world. Kale steps forward along the energy lines in the floor, each footfall echoing softly. Vorgel follows, matching his pace with graceful strides. The two meet at the ring center. Kale raises his staff vertically, the tip pointing to the sky above. Vorgel inclines its head and rests one blade against its shoulder. The crowd leans in, quiet with expectation. Kale smiles and lowers his staff to horizontal, offering it like an open hand. Vorgel reaches out with one arm, touching the staff's middle. Kale feels the alien's weight and strength, presses gently, guiding the champion's movement. The staff hums with energy, a bridge between two beings. Kale thinks of Earth's people, their laughter, kindness, and their will to stand together. He lets that feeling flow through his touch, calm and true. Vorgel's many eyes blink in understanding, slowly. Kale lowers the staff to the floor. Vorgel steps back, but keeps its hand extended. Kale releases his grip and places his own hand in the alien's. In that union, the arena brightens with a warm light that seems to come from both of them. The crowd rises as one, voices lifting in a joyous cheer that shakes the very walls. Aliens clap with many hands. Humans in the stands shout in celebration. And a sense of unity fills the air. Kale looks into Vorgel's many-eyed face and bows deeply. Vorgel bows in return, lowering its blades completely. Then the champion places a hand on Kale's shoulder plate in a gesture of friendship. Kale places his other hand on the champion's wrist guard. They stand like this for a moment, two champions from different worlds, connected by respect and hope. The bell chimes one last time. The round is over, but the moment lingers. Kale steps back and raises both arms in a gesture of peace. Vorgel raises one blade in salute, then sheaths it. The arena fills with cheers that reverberate like thunder. Bright ribbons of light spiral from the ring's floor into the air, celebrating more than victory, celebrating unity. Kale walks to Vorgel's side and lifts the champion's hand in his own. Together they circle the ring, acknowledging the crowd. Kale's eyes shine with gratitude. Thinks of every person on Earth who believed in him, and every alien who saw in him not an intruder, but a friend. Their footsteps echo in harmony, a human and an alien moving as one. As they leave the ring, Kale and Vorgel turn to face each other one last time. Kale extends his hand again, and the alien takes it fully. In that final grip, a new promise is made, that worlds will stand together, that courage will meet compassion, and that the human spirit will always reach out in friendship. The arena's lights dim, but the memory of this night will shine bright in every heart across the galaxy.